Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and I just got done watching this flick Street Kings. Well, watching it again. It's in my collection. Weirdly enough, this is actually 20th Century Fuckface who released this. Really, Fox Searchlight, which released the Hills of Eyes remake, so maybe that makes more sense, but I'm not a big fan of that studio anymore, but this was a good one. It's directed by David Ayer, or Ayer, A-Y-E-R, David Ayer. This is the same guy, I think he's most famous for writing Training Day. I think he also wrote The Fast and the Furious, the original, Dark Blue, with, one of Kurt Russell's best performances. And this is, I think, his second film he directed. He directed a film called Harsh Times. I think that's with Christian Bale. I had not seen that one. I haven't seen that one. And he's in negotiations to do the Commando remake, which, if he can hear me, please don't do it. You can do better. I mean, you're honestly a good writer if you've written Training Day, Dark Blue, you directed Street Kings, which I think is a pretty good flick. You don't need to do a Commando remake. But Street Kings, what we have is Keanu Reeves is a guy named Tom Ludlow. He's the cop on the edge, or so to speak. He had brief touches of his alcoholism, that his wife was killed, or that she died from like a blood clot, and she was on an affair. They don't touch on it too much, but it's sort of, hinted in there. And Keanu Reeves is the type of cop who kind of does, dirty work. And he's not really a clean-cut good guy as well. Like, he comes in at the beginning with these Asian guys, and he's calling them all these crappy names in order to get his ass kicked and then steal his car. Then he's able to follow them, and he has some guns hidden in the car and basically busts in and kills them right off the bat. No, hey, stop, freeze, this is police, just kills him, boom, boom, boom. Then goes over here and you see that there was like two girls who were sort of holed up in a cage. Two or so girls. And then we introduce our other characters. You have Forrest Whitaker, who's sort of is he the chief at this point? I think he's going to be chief. Basically, he is Keanu Reeves' boss. And he's like, oh, you did a good job, you're making me look good, that type of thing. And, yeah, he's a captain, that's what he is. And basically, you have introduced to other sort of characters, their squad. Well, you have Jay Mohr, you got, God, what's that guy's name from fucking, John Corbett. I was from Northern Exposure. So you get a couple guys there. And Keanu Reeves is sort of like meets up with his old partner who doesn't. I forgot it was fucking Terry Crews. Just seeing him in the Expendables. Playing a different character, much more calmer, serious type of guy in Street Kings. Terry Crews, he could do more of those type of roles, to be honest. And he used to be Keanu Reeves' partner. But they had a falling out, maybe because Tom Ludlow, when his wife died, and, alcoholism, maybe they sort of pitted ways there. And he doesn't like the fact that, Keanu Reeves is, doing some dirty stuff, so to speak. And they've sort of been split apart. And they get inkling that Terry Crews is going to turn evidence and go to this guy, I forget his actors. I forget the guy's name. Biggs, Captain Biggs. Played by Hugh Laurie, right there in the back, which I love, because I love Hugh Laurie. I love the TV show House. The TV show House is definitely one of my favorite TV shows lately. And, he's captain, he's head of internal affairs. And Hugh Laurie, he basically plays the character of House, only he's a cop, and he does a fantastic job. And he has a lot of great lines. Every time he was on screen, I wish he was in it more, to be honest. I hope Hugh Laurie does more films, even if it's just always just House. He does a good job. So, I want to see him do more of that type of stuff. But basically, like, Keanue is told by, Forrest Whitaker and others that he's going to turn evidence that Hugh Laurie turned someone in. They're like, who? And they say it's going to be Keanue himself. His old partner's going to, tell on him. He goes in just wanting to, talk to him, maybe hit him in the face. But these two guys roll up, and they go into this convenience mart and kill the clerk and kill Terry Crews right off the bat. One thing leads to another, and he's sort of being set up. Well, not really. Later on, he's sort of being set up, but they're like, let it go. Terry Crews was dirty, but Keanu Reeves still wants to find out because, there's two cop killers out there. You don't let a guy who killed a cop, go. And he sees, like, some people are pushed under the rug. And he's like, what do you mean you don't let him go? What do you mean we're not going to find him? What are you talking about? So he starts an investigation. And the guy who he sort of joins up is this younger guy played by Chris Evans, who actually does a decent job in here. And they sort of start their investigation. Leading up to, I think, is it Common and the Game. These two guys down here, who actually aren't too bad, and they're not in the film too much, as possibly the guys who, I think they're the guys who actually did kill Terry Crews, and they set up to be these two other guys, and there's, shootouts, and you find out they were actually cops, but dirty cops. And then Keanu Reeves is set up, and he has to find out what's going on. Street Kings, this might not be much of a review, but I really enjoy Street Kings. I think a lot of people don't like it because it's, from the writer. The guy who directed this wrote Training Day, so I think you don't get a lot of comparisons to Training Day. And pretty much 9 times out of 10, they don't pick Training Day over Street Kings. But to be honest, if I had to pick, I would pick Street Kings. First off, I love the cast. I mean, Keanu Reeves, he can be an underrated guy. He doesn't always hit the ball out of the park. Day the Earth Stood Still, that's a fucking perfect example of it. The remake, but he has a lot of good stuff. Speed, Constantine, the Bill and Ted movies, and this film. This is definitely, I think, one of his better flicks. And I was looking at IMDb right now. Thankfully, someone has prevailed because it gets a 7.0 out of 10. Pretty much. And it's weird. One of the writers, it says, is James Ellroy, and another writer was Kurt Wimmer. Yeah, it says, story by James Ellroy, screenplay by James Ellroy, Kurt Wimmer, and Jamie Moss. So I don't know if one did a rewrite and then one did another rewrite or what. But, And the film was kind of a so-so hit. It cost like 20, made like 27 million bucks. Not too much. Apparently, over the years, Spike Lee, David Fincher, and Oliver Stone were attached to direct the flick. Sean Penn was once attached to star. I'm just reading a little info on there. But anyway, I mean, I think there'll be a couple people who don't like the film because it's sort of, they'll say it's typical. We've seen this film before. We saw it in Training Day. You have cops who, they're not clean-cut cops. They're sort of down and dirty and the rough streets and, whether it be not only Training Day, but, in a way, The Departed and LA Confidential, and these are some films. Copland, which I love. But these are films that I sort of compared, and again, the main one is Training Day. But, I don't know, I always enjoy this flick. I guess You know, again, Keanu Reeves, I think, does a capable job. Forrest Whitaker, at times, is a little bit over the top, but he works. He's a capable actor. I really like Hugh, Laurie. Every time he's on screen, I'm always a big fan of it. I'm trying to see if there's this great line, and I can't remember what the hell it was. It is a great line. It's been I actually saw this a couple days ago, to be honest. It's like Forrest Whitaker and Hugh Laurie's characters go back, and you know, Forrest Whitaker tells Hugh Laurie, does your wife know that you use prostitutes, man? And Hugh Laurie's like, yeah, it was the best head I ever had. And then he says, why don't you do the department a favor and wash your mouth out with buckshot? Some people hate the dialogue, but I always enjoy it. I'm sorry I'm a little bit off. It just didn't really get a good night's sleep. I guess I should have done this later, but it's hard to review this film and the fact that, you have some decent action sequences. It's not too long. I mean, sometimes these films can be over 2 hours, and this isn't. The actors do a capable enough job. Keanu Reeves, his character is sort of, in the middle. He's not really a good cop, but he's not really. He's a kind of a bad cop. At the same time, he's an honest cop deep down, especially by the end, trying to find who killed, Terry Crews. I probably would have liked a little bit more scenes of hitting home that he's doing this for, Terry Crews, who got gunned down. I would have liked a little bit more. Granted, he does help Terry Crews' widow. But I would have liked a little bit more, like him looking at a picture of his old partner, or a little bit of flashback or something. Or even at the end saying, what about him? What about, I think his character's name is Washington. And a little bit more of that would have been nice. But, I don't know. It's not a bad film at all. It's an entertaining film. It's likable cast. I like some of the dialogue. Capably directed. It's not too over the top and flashy. It's an entertaining film, Street Kings. I enjoy it. It's not much a review, but what more can I say? This is basically more of a recommendation. Check out Street Kings. I thought it was worth a look. So, thanks for watching, and take care. Later.